The likely suspect fusion rifle is one you've probably heard about, and even seen it doing the rounds blitzing through certain Crucible lobbies. Yet there's a PvE role that is absolutely doing bits this season. I've chased it, I've crafted it, and I've spent an ungodly amount of time leveling up so that you don't have to. But after this video, you just might. Before we crack on, please also make sure to check that you're subscribed to my channel if you do like any of my videos. Fusion rifles are still all the rage, and none more so than the rapid fire frames, whether that's the old faithful Cartesian coordinate, the season of the Splicer's Null Composure, or the brand new likely suspect from Savathun's Throne World. The likely suspect has a unique place in the sandbox as it's actually the third void rapid fire frame fusion, and despite them not being as potent as they were in Season of the Lost with the dominant particle deconstruction mod, they absolutely can and will stand you in good stead for more of the same, offering excellent high burst DPS in an instant. And it's this role right here that I think you should be chasing. It may not exactly look like your cup of tea, but bear with me. If I told you you can hit a boss for over 450,000 total damage per magazine, would that change your mind? Golden Tricorn is the key to unlocking this fusion rifle, so let's break down why it is. This was a newly added perk in the 30th anniversary update, so you don't actually see it on a bunch of weapons at the minute, but on the likely suspect, I think it's one of the best. Final blows with this weapon grant bonus damage, while the buff is active. Grenade or melee kills of the same damage type greatly increase its damage and duration. The initial damage boost is 15%, which as it's a fusion rifle is very easy to activate. The perk lasts for 7 seconds and also refreshes on kills too, meaning you can go on an absolute tear with it. To activate Golden Tricorn ×2 though, you'll need a grenade or melee final blow whilst the perk is active. As this is a Void fusion, and thanks to Void 3.0's introduction, it's easier than ever to trigger this, and not only will the perk be extended to 10 seconds, but you'll straight up get a 50% damage boost. One of the single best damage boosts in the game, and now it's on a fusion rifle. If you get the enhanced trait of Golden Tricorn, you'll get a bonus extension of the time too, which if you can get it, I definitely think you should, especially if you're keen on going ham with it and it being part of your daily loadout. It'll make the uptime of the perk near on infinite, especially with the setup I'm about to run through with you. I genuinely can't understand why I don't see this perk more often, because when you look at the damage numbers, it's on some other level that we haven't even seen on fusions before, and technically puts particle deconstruction in your hands all of the time. Before we dive into the damage numbers though, I believe that the absolute best way to activate the Golden Tricorn ×2 buff with Void 3.0 is to use the Vortex Grenade. This has had a huge rework, making it one of the best grenades in the entire game, as not only does it do damage over time, but it'll also do the big suck, dragging nearby enemies into it. This is perfect for Golden Tricorn, as simply chucking it near a bunch of trash ads will delete them no matter what level of content you're playing. Also, if you add in the Echo of Undermining, you'll apply a 15% weaken to enemies affected by your grenades and therefore delete them quicker whilst they're in the big suck. You'll really want to lean into a Void Grenade focused build with exotics like the OMNIOCULUS for Hunters, Heart of Inmost Light for Titans, and the CONTRAVERSE Holds for Warlocks being excellent top picks. This method is going to help you activate the 50% damage buff as often as you want, and if combined with your Void melee, you could keep a near infinite loop for the uptime of the perk. Now let me let you in on a little Void 3.0 secret, which is absolutely going to break this perk and make you unstoppable with the likely suspect. Devour. All classes now have access to Devour, which if you're a Warlock, you should already know the incredible power of this perk. When Devour is active, final blows restore you to full health, extend its duration, and also grant grenade energy. The new Echo of Starvation Void Fragment will grant Devour when collecting an Orb of Power. Simply put on the Harmonic or Void Siphon Helmet mod and you'll be able to create Orbs of Power on multi-kills. Devour is basically Demolitionist on steroids, and just a few final blows will have your grenade fully recharged. With that fully recharged grenade, you can keep rolling the 50% Golden Tricorn buff for as long as you have fusion ammo, so don't forget to use Ammo Finder and Scavenger mods. For Warlocks, remember you can even use either the Feed the Void aspect or the group boots to activate Devour, which will free up your fragment slots for better options. As for the rest of the perk options, I think you should be going for a mix of range, stability and mag boosting perks. Enhanced Battery is going to increase the base magazine to 8, putting it on par with Cartesian and also maxing out your damage output. Hammerforged Rifling is the best range boosting barrel choice, and it's also going to help reduce the damage fall off for each bolt you fire. I've also gone for Firmly Planted, which gives a good boost to accuracy, stability and handling when crouched. You could also go for the enhanced trait here, but it's not as beneficial in my opinion as having Enhanced Tricorn if you're short on materials. A range masterwork or a range frame if you're shaping the weapon is also going to be the best option, again to negate the damage fall off. Some may argue for a charge time masterwork, but for me I'm not a fan as it lowers the total damage output. At a base level, the Likely Suspect does 3727 damage to a boss. There's 9 bolts per burst on rapid fire fusions, and so that takes it up to 33,000 per burst. With Golden Tricorn active, that takes you up to 4,826 per bolt, and once you get Golden Tricorn times 2 going, you'll be hitting for a whopping 5,590 per bolt, which is a huge 50,000 per burst. Given that you have to set up the first shot to activate Golden Tricorn and then the times 2 with the ability Final Blow, the next 7 rounds can top you out at over 350,000 total damage. To put this into comparison, the Null Composure sits at about 280,000 with its high impact reserves roll, and a Vorpal Cartesian with 8 bursts will get you just over 300,000. Even with the extended setup time, it's still easy to activate, and as its 50% damage boost can also be indefinitely extended with a grenade focused setup, you'll be able to pull it off easily with minimal practice, whether that's taking out a trash ad in Lost Sectors or Shadow Thrall at the raid boss in the Vow of the Disciple. Now to hit that magic 440,000 plus damage I mentioned at the start of the video, you can easily self-proc this a few ways. Adding in the Font of Might's 25% damage boost will let each bolt hit for 6,987, taking you to 62,000 per burst and totaling 440,000 over 7 shots, and over 500,000 if you kept the Tricorn perk rolling and can take advantage of the full 8 round magazine. It really is a staggering number, and there's literally no other fusion rifle that comes close to both its damage output and actual DPS. Then, if you factor in that you can use volatile rounds with it as it's a void weapon, you can even add an additional 6,000 plus per burst because you'll be dealing enough damage rapidly to trigger volatile rounds every single shot whilst the perk is active. You can use the Echo of Instability for this, which triggers on grenade final blows, but Volatile Flow is by far the best mod to use with this season. Simply collecting a Void Elemental Well will activate the perk, and if you're running the aforementioned Font of Might, you'll activate both or refresh both buffs at the same time. If you want to create Void Wells consistently, then I'd recommend the Reaping Well Maker mod to create them on final blows after using your class ability, and even use Elemental Armaments to generate them on final blows with a Void weapon. As an added bonus, Well of Tenacity will give you a huge damage reduction for a short duration, and it'll pair perfectly with the Devour build we've already set you up with. Infinite health, damage resistance and huge boss melting champion destroying damage, what's not to like about the Likely Suspect? If you want your Likely Suspect, make sure to spend time doing Throne World activities and leveling up Finch. It only requires 2 attunement red deep sight resonance versions to be able to craft, and then level it up using the Shuro Chi checkpoint in the Last Wish raid to unlock all the base perks at level 13 or the enhanced ones at level 16. This weapon may not shape the meta just yet, but as you can see from the showcase here, it's just on the fringes. However, if you want to go all in on Void 3.0 with this incredible fusion rifle, it's easily accessible, has some excellent perks, and it has access to one of the most devastating Void 3.0 builds we've seen yet in the Witch Queen. If you're keen on crafting the Likely Suspect and leveling it up to unlock all the best perks we've gone through today, I think that you'll need to watch this quick 2-minute video. It'll show you exactly what to do, where to go, and most importantly save you a ton of time. Please click the link shown on the screen right here.